over, so I wanted to do some season reviews for all the Tigers starters and a couple of their pitchers as well. The first one I wanted to do was for Candelario because I feel he was the most impactful player this season. We can take a look here at his 2021 numbers. On the year, he hit 16 homers with 271 batting average, 67 RBIs, and a 351 on base. So pretty impressive numbers. He had pretty much a 4 WAR. So a really great season from him. Definitely his best year of his career. We got him back in 2017 for Alex Avila and Justin Wilson. They were both pretty average players, and they're having really great seasons with us. And we took advantage of that and traded for 2 really good prospects. We got Candelario and Paradas for them. So that was actually one of the greater trades Avila has made. He doesn't really make good trades a lot, so that was kind of a shocker to see one of his trades really pan out, because Candelario looks like he's going to be our third baseman for the next 5-6 years at the very least. I'm hoping he can at least be our first baseman for the next 5-6 years. But some things we can look at on his Baseball Savant page. So he hits homers everywhere. He's definitely more of a lefty homer guy because he sees a lot more right-handed pitchers, so he has a lot more at-bats from the left side. He can hit the homers everywhere, though. I believe he's hit 13 on the left side and 3 on the right this year. So he can still hit to the opposite sides of the field as well, even when he's batting on lefty or righty. So it's super helpful to have switch hitters, and we have a ton of them. And Candelario is probably our best consistent hitter as well, and he's a switch hitter, so that's something super helpful for our team. Some things we can look at for his splits here. So on his splits, he started his year off batting .260 with 1 homer. So the power was kind of a problem to start the year, but it kind of came through as the months went on. June was by far his worst month, batting .194 with a .293 on base percentage. But since he had a really good May, he kind of kept his batting average still around .260 for like the entire season. So that is super impressive as well. He had great months to end the year with July, August, and September. July, he hit in the 300s for the second time and got his on-base percentage to the 400s. So July was a really good month, and then also September and a little bit of October, he hit 6 homers that entire month, and he had his first multi-homer game of the year as well, which we'll take a look at that in a minute. But so a really great way to finish the season, and it just makes all the Tigers fans excited to see him for next year. So one of his best games of the year was definitely the 8-7 win that we had against the Tampa Bay Rays. So we can take a look here at his box score. He went 3 for 5 on that day with 2 home runs. It was one of the more impressive days I think I'd ever seen from him. We can take a look here at his homers for the day. So this was his first one. It was against Luis Patino. Play that back. So this is a pretty young, good prospect for the Rays. Crushed it left-handed or right-handed on lefty, and he absolutely crushed it. One of his better homers of the year, and then the second one was right here, and it was probably one of the clutchest homers of the year. So it was off Kittredge, and he absolutely crushed it to tie the game and make it 7-7 in a game that we went on to win. So it was a 2-2 or 2 outs, 2-2 count. So it was coming down to the final pitch, and he hit one of the clutchest homers of the year to tie the game for us. So that was a huge hit by him and one of the more impressive things he did this entire season. Something else we can look at, one of his other better games of the year was the 15-5 win against the Cincinnati Reds. He went 4 for 5 on that day with no walks, but 4 for 5 is an insane day. He also had a home run. We can watch that right here. So his homer was also lefty, so another homer on the left side. He absolutely crushed it to left center, so he can hit to left center, pull left, to right center, pull right. He can hit everywhere, so I'm super excited to see what he can do in these next coming years. I will link these channels below, and you guys can watch the full highlight videos. So like I said, he led the league in doubles on the year, so that's something really impressive. He tied Whit Merrifield for the AL and JD Martinez. So he tied with 3 AL people, and Bryce Harper also had 42 in the NL. So tying is still just as good as leading. We'll take that. You can't control how the rest of the league does. So yeah, our best player on the year hit 84 RBIs, and Candelario had 67. So he was second in the team in RBIs, and he was 4th in the team in home runs. So I think he had probably one of the best seasons on our team. He was second on our team for base percentage, so that was also really impactful. And he was second on our team for batting average. So he was pretty much our most consistent hitter throughout the entire season, and it was really impressive. Someone to compare him to, Robbie Grossman also had another great year for us, as well as Candelario. He kind of hits the ball everywhere. He's also a switch hitter. Him and Candelario were like almost similar players to the T. They're both great at bats every single time, and I'm super glad that we have them both next year. I'm excited to see what they can do in the 2022 season. But that's it for Candelario. If I were to give him a grade for the year, I'd definitely give him a A. I'll be doing a lot more of our worst players as well, and have a lot more like weaknesses to talk about and things they need to improve. But for Candelario, I don't really see much that he needs to improve. For his weaknesses, I'd say the only thing is really he doesn't drive enough runs in, only getting 67 RBIs. But we don't score many runs, so we don't have anyone getting 100 RBIs. So you can't really knock him for that until we can start getting or putting up a lot of runs every game. So another thing that his problem is no stolen bases this year, so that's something maybe he can work on. He's not slow, as you can see with the sprint speed. He's pretty much league average for his speed, and he's not like a liability ever when he's on the base path. So maybe if he can work on his speed a little bit, and we can maybe get a base stealing threat out of him, that would be super helpful. But his strengths are absolutely ridiculous. He's a great contact hitter. Hits a ton of extra base hits. He's a clutch hitter. He's a super high potential for power, as we've seen with his swings to deep center. He can hit the ball almost anywhere in the field. He has a pretty good on base percentage. He's a great glove at both corners. He has time at first base and third base, so he's played at both. He doesn't slump much, so he only had one bad month the entire year, and every other month he was consistent. He's got a great attitude, and he's a great leader. He's always the guy you see pumping up the rest of the team and getting really hype when he gets a clutch hit. He had a huge improvement from 2019 as well, so that's something that's really impressive to see him take a huge leap from having one of his worst seasons to having two of his best in the next 2 years. So that's for Candelario's 2021 season. The next person I think I'll do is for Scope, and then I will go on for everyone else and then do the pitchers after that. But yeah, I'll give him an A, like I said, for his grade. Drop in the comments what you guys think his grade is for the season, and I'll be back for Scopes.